Welcome back, Savages. Tonight we're talking trains. Woo!
Why would a paranormal team talk about trains?
Because they're haunted.
I just like to make the noise. Woo woo.
Why are you like double fisting it? There's only one string.
Alright, so tonight we are talking about haunted trains in Ohio.
Mine's not in Ohio. I missed that part of the memo.
Oh, whatever.
Haunted trains in general.
Haunted trains then. We have touched on this topic a little in the past, but the one that we have talked about, I actually lived on the street where it happened. So the Chestnut Grove Cemetery, which a lot of people are familiar with in Ashtabula, Ohio, everybody knows about the train disaster. There was a lot of people. There were rumors that there was gold on the train because people were finding like coins and stuff. I guess you can still find coins down by the river and stuff down there. The whole point or the whole conception is that there's one way that the accident occurred and then there's like a whole different way the accident occurred. According to the history, was the bridge collapsed while it was crossing. Other people say that it was because there was a fight about the gold and whatnot. I don't care which way. All I know
It all ends the same.
Right. The train collapsed. Lots of people died.
The train collapsed?
Yep. The bridge collapsed. The train went with it. 159 people were killed, which is very tragic.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. Mm-hmm. The street that I lived on, from where the accident occurred, so it kind of like, I don't know if any of you have ever lived in Ashtabula.
No.
But the area that it's in, you've got the park or the cemetery, and it veers off into like this V shape. Mm-hmm. I lived on this street, which is diagonal from the entrance of where the accident happened.
Okay.
And I can tell you right now, it's creepy as hell.
It is supposedly very haunted.
Before I really got into all of this stuff, I never liked being outside after dark in that section of street because it felt like hundreds of people were staring at me, which now that I know, hundreds of people probably were.
People have said that you can hear the screams.
You can. So, I know it was cold that night because I had let the dogs in from being outside. And, I mean, it was late. And so, it was quiet. Like, Ashtabula after dark, it gets really quiet. And you could hear this blood-curdling scream. And I bolted back into our apartment. I, like, made a joke about it. I was like, it's just another druggie. Well, the guy that I was dating, his brother was like, no, there was a train accident. He's like, and you can hear people screaming. I was like, no. Because I was like, I don't.
Wrong.
The fact that I'm even living this close after you telling me that now scares the crap out of me. But he would go for like walks and stuff all the time. And he actually brought some gold coins back.
Mistake number 1.
I should have known that. But, you know, I wasn't into the paranormal at that time. I was trying to be a normal human being.
That doesn't work out.
No. But he brought a bunch of coins back. Ever since then, it was like I was always hearing stuff in our apartment. You can hear, like, the train sounds. But in that section, I mean, trains still do run through there, but it's like an eerie, like, train sound.
Yeah.
It's not like a normal horn.
Probably, like,
No.
Probably, I would assume, I don't know, but it sounds like muffled and kind of far away, but not at the same time.
Yeah, and people have said, like, when they've just gone for walks and stuff down there, that you feel, like, the devastation. You just feel like you shouldn't be down there. I mean, I can understand that part. I mean, that was a horrible, horrible thing.
Yeah, and imagine how many bodies that were never found that are in the ground.
Yeah, now buried and whatnot.
I don't want to think about that.
No, but that would explain the feeling.
Yeah.
Not to mention just the magnitude of death, but
Right.
the people that are still there.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there are people that have said that they've seen people standing. So they have like this, it's an iron fence. Mm-hmm. But I mean, because it's an embankment. Like if there isn't a fence there, you're going to fall off of it. But it's, a lot of people have pictures and have seen people standing on the other side where you shouldn't be able to stand because it's so like eroded, but you can see people standing on the other side of the fence, and you can hear children, you can hear men, you can hear conversations. I refuse to go for a walk anywhere near that area. I don't even know how to describe it because it was so bad that nobody really likes to venture down there.
Yeah. There's a lot of paranormal teams that go and check it out, and they get some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, because you got all of the people who unfortunately passed, but then you also got the people who probably watched it and no, they didn't die in the accident.
They're
Like horror and
Yeah.
fear and whatnot still
Yeah.
probably linger there.
I mean, a lot of police officers have even said that people have been called out there because of the sounds that they hear, like because they're so distinct.
Well, yeah, you hear someone screaming. Most people's first thoughts not ghosts.
Yeah.
Mine is like, oh, it's probably just some lady.
And then, well, it's a cemetery too, so magnify that by like 500.
Yeah.
Now, is it a cemetery for the train, or is it a general cemetery?
It's both. It's a general. It was a small cemetery, but when the accident happened, because it was a convenient area, that's where most of the bodies were buried.
Okay. So not only do you have the people who might not have been found, but then you got the people who were and were buried like 5 feet over.
Yeah.
So.
It's a whole fun game.
Yeah.
Ashtabula County is very haunted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't live there anymore. But Madison's just as haunted.
Yeah. Pretty much everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It was all Indian ground at one point in time, so you've got that, and then everything else that has happened over the years. And there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 sets of train tracks, well, crossings, in a circle here, and the one set on numerous occasions. As I go through there, it will set off my, whatever it's called,
The radar thing.
the beep when you're too close to something.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
And I'm like,
Where?
okay, I don't see you, but please step away from the car.
I don't have that. I'm so glad I don't have that.
Yeah. And then the other set, you get this really bad feeling as you go across.
Is that the one
Yeah.
down, like, when you're going towards 84?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like those.
Those are the ones that set it off too. And then there's the other set over on Main. Those actually, I have articles of the people who have been killed there. I don't get the same kind of feeling over there, but they're definitely there.
Well, I know that when I forget to take the road by the church that takes me back home, which I just realized today as I was driving that you have a church on each corner.
Yeah.
I just realized that today. I was like, oh, that's weird.
There's 3 churches all in a triangle right
That's fantastic.
there. The one at the cemetery, then the one straight here, and the one right here.
That's
Remind
fine.
me to tell you about my train story in Madison.
Yeah, I don't like the ones that are
I was gonna say, I cross
going by 84.
when I'm going back home. The ones up there, the ones down here, and then I just pivot off of these ones. Mm-hmm. So
Guy's gonna punch me in the face. Yeah,
no, ever since we moved here, I never liked the ones down here.
What's down here?
Well, because you got the one up here, and then you go down a hill, and then you've got those ones. But these ones down here don't have the
Yes.
Now, granted, there's like never a train on those tracks, and in the daytime, those tracks are actually really pretty. Yeah, so...
Listen, I've only lived here 10 years. I don't know where I am anymore.
Those ones give me the creeps, too.
Well, yeah, my mom now lives there.
Yeah.
And so, no matter which way you're going, you gotta cross tracks to get out.
Mm-hmm.
The tracks that don't have the gate scare the crap out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like those ones. I try to avoid them at all costs.
The one I was thinking about was there's a ghost train. Mm-hmm. And it's the one that carried Abraham Lincoln's body.
I was just reading about that the other day because I went on a walk and apparently that train like stopped somewhere here.
Oh, so, okay, mine is in Ohio. I followed the rules.
Well, I don't know if that is that specific train, but I was reading that somewhere here it stopped. He gave his speech, and then at some point he died, and the train came back through here. And
okay.
everyone had a huge memorial.
So it might
The
be
last
the
time
same
I
one.
saw Abraham Lincoln on a train was during the movie, The Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Last time I saw Abraham Lincoln was in Supernatural.
But anyways, this train goes the path of his funeral procession.
So then it does at some point stop in Ohio. So it is kind of an Ohio story.
Yes.
But anyway, I can totally imagine seeing... Because, I mean, America, as far as my history class told me, America loved him. So you had all of that energy from him being dead, from his, like, friends and family that were on that train. Mm-hmm. All of the people that it made, because it made stops coming home.
Yes.
Like, it stopped here. It made a bunch of stops coming home. And so you have all that energy going into the location, but also the train itself. All across America. And then you have just all of America's general energy of, oh no. So all of that energy, you're gonna create a ghost train.
You're using your hands an awful
I'm
lot
Italian.
tonight. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that they transported his body throughout.
Well, they took it home, and on the way home they stopped.
Yeah,
I would
never know that.
think, now this is again an assumption, but I would think that this particular one would be more of a residual. Yeah. Not an actual anything.
Listen, if I ever saw the ghost of Abraham Lincoln up and walking about, I would probably poop my pants because I'd be like, hello, goodbye.
Well, you gotta think he was tall, and then he had this tall ass hat. He's probably tall.
I would cry. I'd be like, no, I appreciate what you did. Nice to meet you. Gotta go by. No.
You should totally do a hunt at the White House.
Oh, if we could get that would be freaking fantastic.
Why?
Because for the
All the ghosts there? Oh, man.
The White House is very haunted.
And I'm sorry,
No.
but I firmly believe there's been some shady things done to people there.
Oh, totally.
So they got all kinds of secret rooms and hidden tunnels, and I'm sure they got torture rooms and stuff. So there's probably some pretty wild ghosts there.
If we see like a satanic worship circle underneath,
The Illuminati.
Anyway, back to trains. There's somehow you're double fisting it like the whole.
it makes me
the
happy.
whole.
I don't know. Do you have any more trains? Trains?
There we go. I was like, wait.
Whoa.
I was still on Abraham Lincoln. I don't know why. I was just thinking, I'm like, wait, how did they actually get him, like, on the train? Like, what did they have him in? Just, like, this giant box?
Probably a coffin.
But
I would think.
Was it custom? Like, it had to have been custom made because he was,
probably.
like, 7'12".
I think, weren't they all kind of custom made back then? Because
Yeah, a lot of them were just wooden
chunks of wood. and
Right. Yeah, they probably whipped one together there.
Pull out a
Because
tape
once-
measure. Yeah,
Like, once you're in the ground, whatever you're in doesn't have to look pretty. It's the headstone that has to look pretty.
No,
Not back then.
I don't even know if people had headstones back then.
Grave markers.
Just gonna
Pretty
say,
much.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I like how the Lincoln funeral train is the first thing that comes up.
Yeah.
Oh, the train was covered in black cloth. That's interesting to know.
Oh, yeah, because you're grieving.
But why would you put black cloth over a
Because
train?
you don't have to see it. It
Shroud.
just goes. You just press the gas on a train. You don't have to drive
The
it.
funeral shroud to keep
That.
it private.
And when you're grieving, at least in those times, you wore black.
In retrospect, trains in general are one of the most like haunted things that people see.
There's a lot of
Yeah. Like,
ghost trains.
especially because you got to think, we started the railway, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot
I
of
didn't
blood,
pay that much attention.
a lot of
in
blood,
class.
sweat, and tears went into that.
Literally, though.
Yeah.
Dead people.
Because, yeah. Well, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
And when there was an accident, it just kept going.
Yeah. Like, the railway system was, like, hand-built. And when people died, a lot of the time, they were just kind of kicked to the side
Yeah,
and left
keep
there.
going.
Yeah. You had train disaster after train disaster because
There wasn't.
there was no communication.
No, because you didn't have texting and calling then. It was,
Yeah.
I'll send you a letter with my dove and hope it gets there.
Yeah.
That's what the woo-woos were for. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even then, like, if one train was coming this way and one train was going that way, just hearing the woo sound,
Well, yeah, because you're
that's
on a
going to be
train,
the last
you
thing that
can't-
you hear.
Yeah, you can't, like, in a car, you can't turn. On a train, you are on a fixed path.
Then they had those little levers that back in the day were
Manual.
Yeah.
And if somebody wasn't at their post right on that time frame and they didn't hit that switch, well, goodbye. You're screwed because there ain't nothing you can do about it.
Right, I don't
Because even the
remember-
brakes aren't that quick
No.
on the older trains.
God, no. And, I mean, you've got several 1,000-pound force just going at, like, super fast speeds. You press the brake, inertia's gonna take you another couple miles.
How does that go? What's in motion
Stays in motion unless acted upon by an outside force.
There you go.
I paid attention in science.
I hated science.
I loved science
But-
because it made me feel like a witch.
Yeah. Oh my god. And there it goes. I also don't remember, I don't think there was any regulations to like how many cars they actually stacked up
Probably
on
not.
most of the trains. I don't
As
think
many
that.
as would fit in things
Yeah,
still
because
left.
I don't think. I mean, now I know there's regulations, like they can only have
Yeah.
so many, but I think back then there wasn't really regulations to like how many cars you could put with a train.
So yeah, but also trains are kind of new, so you didn't know how
It was
many
all
you could
trial and
do.
error.
Yeah.
Well, they did a great job.
And also you're like,
Oops.
safety
What?
doesn't matter. We gotta
Right.
get all of this crap over there.
They were also, a lot of them were also coal powered, which meant somebody just had to
Yeah.
shovel that in and you died.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, a lot of people died from heat exhaustion because they fell. They fell in.
You hit a bump as you're going along.
Yeah, because there's no safety.
No.
So, I mean, ghost trains, they go back centuries. Oh my god. What is it about your house that makes my nose itch?
The demons.
Probably. You're ringing
demons?
too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It
I
was the one that goes woo all the way.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's what mine was doing. That's a bad sign.
yeah.
And Kai's like, no.
You're in the middle.
Sorry.
There's also a big one in Canada. I mean, this one has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years, and people still to this day can, even though the train track is no longer in use, it's all overgrown, people still to this day can see the light coming as the train's coming.
That would be horrifying because I've walked on abandoned train tracks before. If I was walking there, because it was like me, my friend, and our dogs, if a light popped up, I'd be like,
I don't walk
No!
on train tracks. I've seen enough movies to know that your shoelaces get stuck and
Yes,
you're
I
dead.
was just gonna say that. Yes.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's too many horror movies out
Yep.
there where your shoelaces get either...
Take off your shoe.
I'm not walking on train tracks without shoes. It's safer just to not walk on the train tracks.
No, I'm saying if you are walking on the train tracks and your laces got stuck and there's a train coming, take off the shoe.
If your shoe is tied tight and you can't get it off,
Who laces their
And-
shoes anymore?
I was going to say, your first mistake was
I
wearing
wear
laced
tennis
up
shoes
shoes.
sometimes.
That's your first
I don't
mistake.
own Crocs.
That's your second mistake.
I've grabbed one now.
I had a pair, my kids stole them.
When
Well, there's your third mistake.
Yeah, 3 of them. 1, 2, 3.
When I was, I think, 18, 19, my ex and I, we were four-wheeling, and somehow we got on the wrong path, and instead of going around the train track, we actually had to lift our four-wheeler
No.
over the train track to get to the other side of the path because we were on the wrong one. And it was, you could go all the way down, but where we were, there was no there was no road to get off where we were. So we had to pick up this four-wheeler. Luckily it wasn't very big, carry it over the tracks to the other side. And it's a very active,
Yeah.
area.
There's too many ways that could go wrong.
And
I would not
my
walk on
whole
active
thought
tracks.
process was, hurry up. I was pushing, I was scrambling. Because I was like, well, we get to the other side, we get back on the four-wheeler, and here comes a train. And my heart, I thought, was going to beat out of my chest. Because I was like, we could have just died.
Yeah.
So back to what you were saying. So they had... November 1st, 1918, they had the Melbourne Street wreck of Brooklyn, where 102 people died. A beach-bound train was speeding through a tunnel beneath Brooklyn's Melbourne Street, known as Empire Boulevard. During the incident, 2 subway trains operated by the Brooklyn Rapid Transit Company traveled to Brighton Beach. As the trains approached the Melbourne Street station, they were supposed to slow down to 6 miles an hour as they navigated a sharp curve. This subway disaster, the Brighton Beach line accident, occurred in November 1918 in New York City. It says, however, the train lead operator was reportedly inexperienced and unfamiliar with the route, which also happened a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, you got people who are like, I'm going to make it on my own. I'll drive a train. And they were like, okay, here you go. I don't think that's exactly what I was thinking of. But,
No.
again, this crap happened a lot.
It looks like a lot of them were human error.
Well, yeah, the train's not deciding where it wants to go.
Well, I get
The
that.
train
Those
is just
happen.
going.
Those happen nowadays with when you hear of the subway and stuff in New York. You
I don't
hear
trust
about
something
those.
to drive itself.
Yeah,
Like-
I don't either, but
It's either bridge collapse or human error for most of the stories.
no. But a lot of
That was an
the
airplane.
crashes now is the computer malfunction or
Yeah. Something's going to drive itself or have a computer do 99% of the work. There has to be a manual override button that I can press and therefore then take control of. Because one computer glitch and everyone's dead.
yeah.
Whereas one computer glitch, if I catch it, stop, now I'm in control
Yeah.
and I can fix it.
There's
Not me, but
one in South Carrollton,
Yes.
Kentucky.
Yes.
This one was... The train wreck involved a deadly collision between 2 passenger trains operated by the Illinois Central Railroad. A southbound passenger train, the number 9 flyer, collided head-on with a northbound passenger train.
Oof.
That sounds bad.
150 people were injured and only 50 died. I only say that because a lot of the time it's...
Yeah, it's the other way around.
Yeah. Oh, that was a circus train that derailed.
Ugh.
Oh, now we not only do we have ghosts, we have clown ghosts.
I was thinking more elephants and whatnot, but
Don't
sure,
do
clown
that.
ghosts.
Don't you dare put that out into the atmosphere.
Oh, well, you know what this one made me watch today? It.
Why?
Did I tell you about my It story?
Why do you have an it story?
Because my dad is mean.
I'm sorry.
We watched It,
No.
and I
hate clowns. Oh, God.
that house that my dad lived
Well, this
in.
clown turns into a spider.
Oh, I'm very
Yeah,
well aware.
no, the
I
house
watched
that
it.
my dad lived in at the
Not
time, there was a
voluntarily.
giant window behind me. A giant window through the... Because I was sleeping on the leather couch. Giant window behind me. Giant window there. Front doors here. It's all open. There's a bunch of windows. I'm sleeping on this leather couch.
What kind of couch?
A leather one. It was not comfy. That's the only reason why I specify, because he
black?
still has it, yes. What? But I was sleeping on it.
Casting couch.
And
There's something you're never gonna get out of your head
Sorry,
now.
guys.
what?
We'll Google it when we're done.
Okay. But
Don't
he
you
had an
dare.
Alexa down there. And have you guys heard Tiptoe Through the Tulips
Oh, God!
by Tiny
Yes.
Tim?
No!
Isn't that Saw?
Oh no, it's
Or is it-
Insidious.
But
Insidious, yeah.
But I'm trying to go to sleep after watching it. And my dad uses his phone to connect to Alexa and starts playing that through the Alexa. And I was like, screw everything. I put in my earbuds. I turned around, shoved my face in the corner of the couch. I was like, I'm going to sleep.
I would have been banging on the windows.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting her dad to
Kinda
like
like
pop
what I
up
did
with
to-
a clown face on and
He's
Kind of like what I did to the kid the other day when he was being a jerk and I walked outside and hit the window.
yeah.
I can tolerate murderers and axe people and all things.
Tolerate as in
Axe
we don't tolerate as in we don't encourage or approve of murders and people.
Right.
But we'll
that
speak
kill
to you
people.
in the afterlife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But clowns. I draw the line at clowns. Anything clowns. That's how I got kicked out of my first haunted house. But I don't know what it is about clowns. I just can't. I don't like going to like festivals or fairs because when people paint their faces, and it's not the outfit that I have a problem with. Like if somebody's just like in the outfit, I'm like, cool, okay, whatever. You want to be weirdo, do you? I don't care. But like, as soon as you paint your face to look like a clown, I'm done.
It's probably part of that, like, yeah, it's that uncanny valley of you look human, but not quite. And that in your...
I just think they look murderous and they're terrifying, and I don't even like dolls that look like clowns. And for those circus trains that come through that are painted like clowns, my heart's just like... But having like the ghost trains that are painted like clowns, no,
Okay.
not my favorite.
Well, you gotta think, if they're in the train, they're probably not in their full clown getup.
I don't
It
care.
just houses the clown getup.
Don't
No, they would be because they know it would scare her.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of circus trains, you can see, like, people will, like, stand, like, in the windows and, like, they'll wave,
Yeah.
or you'll see people that'll step off, like, the edge and, like, they'll wave.
Any
think
more
we-
trains?
I think we trained it out.
I think we derailed.
Oh, my God.
I'm so funny.
That was, like, the worst dad joke I have
I
ever heard.
love dad jokes.
Oh, my God.
Woo woo!